Hello, it's Adrienne here. Just wanted to come by and share with you some basic lettering um, that I've been, experimenting with. So I wanted to come by because number one, this was my first passion as a crafter. My first craft was calligraphy. I've been writing since calligraphy since I was about 10 years old when my best friend put a calligraphy marker in my hand and said, "This is what I'm learning in art." And after that, I began tracing letters and drawing letters and painting letters, and it led to, I could use just about anything to um, do calligraphy. Now, the first thing that I learned to do um, was to draw out letters. I learned to trace letters using a pencil. Of course, it wasn't anything fancy such as this, even though this is not fancy. I used the number 2 yellow pencil and notebook paper because that's pretty much all I had. And I can recall one of the best gifts that I've ever received. My mom would come home from work and she would put a pen in my hand and she would give me some copy paper, and she knew that that's what I liked because I always kind of stole away and kind of stayed to myself a little bit, and I like to draw. Well, I started writing, and that was my passion as a child. So when I write the letters, I always mimic what I saw other people had done, whether it was by hand or whether it was, typeset. Like I said, I used the front of the newspaper to actually start my lettering because I didn't have much to choose from. I had, the hardbound, we're talking about 35 years ago, we had the hardbound encyclopedias and we had newspapers that were being delivered to the house. So I, my resources were slim, but I made it work. So I learned to shade them. I learned to, copy them and shade them and make the letters look, similar to what was actually being duplicated. So this style of calligraphy was the first calligraphy that I used, that I learned. And like I said, once I started, my best friend, she handed me a calligraphy pen, and it was something that looked similar to this. This is a Pigma calligrapher. Um, I think I picked this up maybe from Hobby Lobby. Well, anyway, when you buy calligraphy pens or markers, this is a marker, they usually give you a little booklet. Now, when I buy a calligraphy pen or marker, I throw them away. Because, like I said, I mimicked that so often and so much that it became habitual. I don't really need to use those things anymore. I learned that the basic lettering is the key to basic lettering in calligraphy is pretty much just using the same angle. Leave your pen in one angle, which is about 45 degrees, while you write out your letters, when using this type of pen anyway. There are different fonts, different types of different ways that you could use calligraphy. There's script, there's this old English, there's, you know, brush lettering now. I use a flare marker pen or just a regular pen. I have dip pens. This one is a little dirty. I used it earlier today and I need to clean it. I need to soak it. I have, calligraphy pens such as the Pilot pen. I have some really nice pens that I got put away. I have brush pens. I have just regular pens that I use to do calligraphy. And this is using the Flare pen by Papermate. Just writing my name out. Just to show you that you can use pretty much anything to, make beautiful lettering. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to go get an envelope. I wanted to share with you, this is one of the first things that I used as far as a paid job doing calligraphy. I used to address envelopes. This is just a regular envelope I got from Michael's. Now, I wouldn't use certain inks on this type of envelope because it's, it's thin and it absorbs the ink, so it actually bleeds into the paper. Now, this would actually be good for, let me show you the brush lettering. Now, some pens will not do well with certain types of paper, and this is just one that I would never, use to with the sorry, I got quiet on you. I was just trying to figure out what name I'm going to put on here, but I figured I'd send this to, the Mr. and Mrs. Donald Duck. So this is actually using the I think this is a fine tip brush marker. They come in different widths, but I think this one is a more of a fine tip. So, and I like using fine tips. So this is just using. It's a little crooked because I didn't use my guidelines, and I usually would if it's something that I'm getting paid for. Now, when I do, now I did go out and I did buy the guides, the lettering guides that you put inside the envelope, so that on the outside of the envelope, so that you can have the perfect straight line. But when I learned, I didn't have all those things. I just had paper and pen. So what I did was I just put the notebook paper inside and I don't know if you could see it, but you could see the lines through this envelope. Now you could also just draw the lines with a pencil, draw your guidelines out, or even just use your paper to as your guideline and go in and write out your address. But like I said, use what you have. If you want to use a pen and write it, you still have to go back in and erase those, and hopefully you wouldn't have to smear your paper when you do. So here's an example of what I was telling you using a calligraphy pen. Here's a pink sheet of paper here. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. This is a fine tip, and this is a Pilot Parallel. So you could pretty much use anything to write out your letters or draw out your letters. Because so far I've used the Pilot calligraphy marker, a pen, a pencil, this brush pen, a flare pen, and I'm sorry, this was a calligraphy marker. This is the brush pen. Sorry. So now I'm going to show you the gel roll. I like the jelly roll because it actually stands out on certain colors like black and brown, like the craft color. And it actually shows pretty good on this pink as well. So let me show you how this is going to look. Now, a lot of people may say this is not calligraphy. Yes, it is, because it is, in my opinion, beautiful lettering. Now, a lot of times I'll go in and I'll shade the letters to make them look like they were done with a pen, because the calligraphy pen has a nib on it, and it actually, as you write, it kind of keeps one side the nib keeps it a little kind of shaded on one side, I think, is what you, I don't know. But it does make a difference when you use the calligraphy pen, because it does have a little slant to it, the nib does, which allows, you know, these variations in width of the letters, so you don't have to go back in and do this. Now, I also use paintbrush. I use markers, Sharpies. I've used paint markers and all kind of other mediums to do calligraphy. So the possibilities are endless. It's just about doing it, learning it, and doing it. Just feel comfortable in your lettering, in your handwriting. I don't use stencils anymore, and I can pretty much look at something and write it sometimes, depending on my mood. But for now, you know, I pretty much just do what I know. I've never really taken a class on brush lettering, although I just picked up a pen and did it, because it's kind of the same concept. It's the same concept as you would when you are, you know, doing other letters. You just have to, like I said, just be confident, and that will actually help you with, you know, your strokes. Confidence brings out um, character in your writing. Like I said, this is just pretty much my handwriting, and I could dress it up by shading, uh, making more flourishes and things like that to make it even more pretty. But I just wanted to stop by and just show you that when it comes to lettering, it's not about the amount of money that you're spending on your material, because you can do it with a basic ink pen and a piece of paper. Today I just used notebook paper and pink cardstock, an envelope with notebook paper as my guide, as a demonstration, but not when I did my lettering. I used a cheap pen, and it, like I said, it may have been about $10, maybe. Jelly roll, maybe $2 or $3. This, I don't even know what this name is. It may be Jot, because I think I got it from the Dollar Tree. So it may have been like 5 or 10 for $1. Pencil. This Pigma calligraphy marker, I think it came in a pack of 2, 3. I'm not sure. Came from Hobby Lobby. I'm sure I used the coupon, so it may have been about $2 or $3. This Tombow brush letter pen, I think it came in a pack of 2 from Hobby Lobby. Used a coupon for that as well, so it may have been about $2 or $3. This Papermate pen, I have no idea where I got it from, how much it cost, but I'm sure it was cheap because I don't spend a whole lot of money on my material. However, it's about what you feel comfortable doing. I personally don't feel like you should go out and spend lots of money on a new craft because it may not be what you want to do. So if you feel like this is something that you want to do, if you want to see more videos and techniques on lettering, leave me a message below and I'll be glad to do more videos on this. And I'll also like to come back and show you the technique that I use for lettering when I'm using heat emboss. Because I do a lot of heat embossing on cards and things like that because I don't use stamps. And also with paintbrushing, I can show you how I do my larger scale calligraphy using a paintbrush. So if that is something that you'll be interested in, please leave me a message down below. If you have any questions, leave a message and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.